Hey everybody, it's Kneecap here, and in this video I'll be talking about the patch 9.1 on the PTR, specifically about the quest line, campaign quest line, and then about Korthia as well. There will be spoilers in the video by definition because the background video will be the PTR client, and I probably will mention some things without trying to give away too much, just to kind of tell my points that I'm trying to get across. So the biggest thing that's compelled me to do this video is I want to get out some different viewpoints from the content creators that I've seen. I guess mostly agreeing with one viewpoint, but a little bit different of a take on Korthia than them, and I could be wrong. But that's just my opinion. I do have a pretty good batting average on kind of guessing how Blizzard's thinking or maybe what they're putting into something. So first, let's talk about where I agree with most people. The campaign quest line is extremely good. The part that's in the PTR right now, extremely good. Anybody who likes lore, anybody who likes storyline will really enjoy the campaign quest line. The beginning starts with a battle for Ardenweld. Some people have hated on that a little bit, which is technically campaign quest line. But if you really don't like that, it does get much better after that. So don't worry. It is quite good. The Venari stuff is quite good. Venari is just a really interesting character. Hopefully that has some sort of completion with Venari, some sort of closure of Venari at the end of the expansion, or Venari continues helping us in future expansions because Venari is a really cool character. So one thing I wanted to point out is a little bit of a difference here. One thing I saw complained about by a couple content creators, bigger ones, is that two characters have this reuniting moment during this, and then they just kind of walk away and don't talk to each other anymore. Well, perhaps it was not in the game yet, but they actually do have an interaction after that, and it kind of like sheds more light on it. It's actually really interesting to read through the dialogue of it. So I did want to point that out. It is a PTR. Maybe it wasn't added yet. Maybe they just didn't follow up on the quest or whatever. I am just now getting to do this, so it's worth noting that they did this like maybe almost a week ago at this point, and I just wasn't able to get on the PTR because it kept crashing, and I had to keep making new characters, and so I actually played through half of it twice, and then was able to continue going on the second character. Didn't get stuck or whatever. So main quest line is absolutely fabulous. Towards the end of it, I actually found this book. I'm sure I don't know if content creators really found it, but I'm sure like Wowhead and Secret Friend in Discord, all those type of people, and then just like anybody who's like an exploration nerd, kind of like me, have probably found it. But there's like this book. It's kind of like a manifesto of the Nathrazim, and it's actually really good. It shed some light. It reminded me of the book that's outside Simfall that anybody can find, I believe, on the live servers. But it to me, it shed a little bit more detail on their plans and like each individual realm, like Light, Death, Void Lords, like how they're infiltrating each group, and just in general. I didn't even mention the Dreadlord stuff in the storyline is great. And frankly, it's hard for me to imagine if you care about lore and storyline that you wouldn't really just love this patch as far as that goes. And we'll see how the Covenant campaign progresses past this. But this is a pretty high watermark already, and even if this was the best of the best, even if this is the peak and it's downhill from there, I think it's still really good, and it would still get like a good grade or whatever. Let's move on a little bit, talk about a little bit about Korthia, because this is where my opinion is going to differ a little bit. So the main take on Korthia is that it's crap, basically. People keep calling it the Maw. It is not the Maw. Now you can't mount there, so it is kind of like that in a way, but it's another realm. But it would be more like like Ardenweld's not the Maw, right? So he chained a zone from far away and pulled it in to them. It doesn't mean that it's not the Maw. It's Korthia. It's another zone. And you can kind of guess how the zone looked before it got torn to shreds. I assume by the chains, maybe. I don't know. They don't go into that yet, at least. So you do a lot of the storyline there too, the campaign storyline, and that kind of unlocks more of it. And so the take I've heard is that this is probably just like a one-time thing where you go through this stuff and unlock it, or you don't unlock it, you just go through it and then you never go back there again. It's like a one-time use thing for the quest line. That could be true, but some of the places in particular seem like they will probably have something later on, whether it's like a daily quest that can spawn there or a rare spawn that can spawn there. There are a couple of the places that seemed a little bit too much features that Blizzard added to not be reused. There's like a Vault of Secrets or something like that. I could see that not being reused. It was not anything special, just a bunch of reused assets, kind of look like a library. Nothing special in it at all. I kind of explored around. It was very small too. I could see that not being reused, but that's not really a zone like you teleport there. But there's multiple places where I could see being used. So my general opinion is that we are going to be able to get into more of Korthia than what we currently can get into, whether through Covenant Campaign Questline, unlocking it, time gating, dailies, reputation, something like that. I imagine that we will be able to quote unquote unlock, not necessarily unlock. It's not cool like Isle of Caldenas or something like that, right? That's like the gold standard for a lot of people. Some people like Thunder Isle and stuff like that too, but that's my gold standard, I guess. And no, it's not going to be that, but I think it is going to gain more things to do. Not more things to do necessarily, just more stuff. You know, you might not even like the stuff, right? That could be a whole other issue. But I do think it's going to have more stuff as time progresses. Essentially, it doesn't make sense for it not to, because right now you're basically like in one little area doing things, and during the quest line you actually go to different places of Korthia. And to me, it'd be really weird if we didn't ever go back there again to a couple of them, because it's like they actually put effort into these assets and stuff like that, and it'd just be weird not to go back, frankly. And similarly, like in the Maw, we actually get to go into that blocked off portion of the Maw. We kind of find out that's basically like where Helya is at. Helya is kind of chilling there, and we go into there. And again, I'd be very surprised if we don't eventually go back in there. Maybe as a dungeon, I guess. There could be a dungeon where we fight Helya again, like Maw of Souls. Could be a raid, technically, I guess. A small raid again with Helya. Maybe rehashing Legion a bit there. Or it could just be a part of the zone that gets opened up eventually, as we have to fight against Helya's forces or something like that, right? So I think that's definitely a possibility as well. Again, that zone in particular, again, I don't think that's only there for the quest line. Maybe I'll be wrong, though. If I'm wrong and all these other content creators are correct, I will obviously say I am wrong on this one. I have been right quite a bit, though. And I just have a different takeaway. I think if you go into everything thinking that, Blizzard's crap, everything's going to be crap, maybe just like a nihilistic view on things, maybe that could come to fruition. But not even come to fruition, just like that might be how your thoughts manifest. But I think, and then like one every 5 times, whatever. I don't know what Blizzard's batting average is, but one out of however many times you're actually right and it is crap, and then that just kind of like reaffirms you, even though you were wrong a lot. And and from my experience, you see people kind of like justify why they were wrong, and it's okay that they were wrong, but they're wrong a lot, frankly, and I'm right a lot. So we'll see how this one goes, and if I'm wrong, then my batting average goes down a little bit, and I'm okay with that. But again, I think these zones will be opened up more. I think the regular quest line is great. I think Korthia is just average. It's just going to be another zone added with dailies in it that maybe unlocks more stuff as it goes on. Hopefully they add like rares to it that drop like mounts or something like that, or pets or whatever. Maybe not though. Maybe that's not the point of it. Maybe we'll see the point of it once it unlocks. I think that's kind of been Blizzard's problem lately, is how they unlock stuff, because they're trying to tell a story, and they're telling a story really well, especially if you follow like the transmedia stuff. But I think a lot of the players miss out on that, unfortunately, so they're not really appreciating it, and I don't blame the players on that at all, actually. But I think that's kind of how it's been going, and like you slowly unlock stuff. It's like, oh, see, that makes sense now in 9.3. That thing in 9.1 makes a lot of sense now, doesn't it? And everyone's like, yeah, it makes sense now, but I unsubbed during 9.1 because it didn't make sense then, So you have that kind of thing. But yeah, so that's it for this. I just wanted to give my own narrative, my own thoughts on the quest line and Korthia for 9.1 PTR so far. I will be attempting to continue to play through it as they release more stuff and kind of keep up with that. So as always, I do ask you to subscribe to the channel because it helps me out so much. And other than that, everybody have a good one.